Many shades of pink and black health. Many shades of pink and black health, where good health equals long life.
Welcome to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program on KBOKradio.com, sponsored by Many Shades of Pink. I'm your host, Wendy Sherrill, breast cancer survivor and advocate.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Susanna Fall, a retired family physician. Our special guest today is Ms. Makena Gargonnu, author, special event producer, entrepreneur, and marketing consultant. And our topic today is This Little Light, the hidden diamond among the ashes. So, Makena, welcome. Thank you for coming and spending the afternoon with us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, and we're just really glad to have you. So glad to have you, especially to talk about you being an author, which we'll dive into that a little later. But just tell us about yourself and your family.
Okay, my name's Makena Gargonnu, of course. Like you guys just said, I'm actually from Southeast San Diego, born and raised here. My parents are from the South. My mom's from Arkansas, my dad from Mississippi, and the military brought my dad out here. I got really inspired, over the years that I wanted to start my own business, which was actually been in the industry for now 20 years. But I launched my own business. I'm trying to think exactly what year it was. 2001, December 2001.
We're going to dive into that,
yes,
but tell us about you. Are you married? How many children you have?
Yeah.
Siblings.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so you have to tell me about my personal self.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yes, I'm happily married to my husband, Makena Gargonnu. We have 3 boys. My oldest son is actually he's adult, but he's 23, and then we have our younger sons who are at home with us, and they're 13 and 11 years old.
Oh.
Okay.
And your siblings?
Yes, I have a sister and a brother.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
And I know your sister. I met your sister a few times. Yeah,
good,
which is
good.
nice. So that's good. That's
yes.
good.
Are
And where
you
you
the oldest?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Good. That's awesome. So, San Diego native. We don't run into too many of them, so it's always a pleasure to meet someone that's born and raised here, just to get a flavor of what San Diego was like over the years, too.
I know, because we don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
we really don't.
Most of us are transplants.
Yeah, we're transplants.
Yeah.
So good. I think, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into the event planning piece? How did that start?
Wow. Well, I was a community activist for a number of years, where I did a lot of events, learning about our history, being black in San Diego, and I got inspired to do that by being in college, being part of a Black Student Union, and so I started doing a lot of advocacy work regarding, our culture and just having, knowing our rights and what we need to do to work hard to be able to be prominent citizens in the United States of America. But then from there, I started, having a heart for youth, and actually started doing workshops for young girls. I got the chance to speak at a high school conference at San Diego State University. And eventually, I got into social work, which really allowed me to work with high school students right here in the community. At the time, it was Gompers Secondary School. I think we have about 1,800 kids at the time at the school. Yeah,
wow, that's a lot.
But right before going to social work, I got exposed to the event planning industry, and I got a chance to work with Maria Dowd in my late 20s. I worked with African American Women on Tour. I was registration manager. We did 8 cities a year.
Wow.
We had speakers like Maya Angelou. We had speakers like Debbie Allen. I remember who else was Yana Van Zant. I remember meeting Yana Van Zant when I was literally, I think I started working with Maria when I was 28 or 27 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and so it was a very good experience for me. It really put my skill set to work. I remember the first day of working, the phones ring off the hook, and this lady Debbie, who was a supervisor there, she said the phones ring off. She said, "McKean, just start answering phones." So I didn't get no proper training that day.
Right.
I had to just literally just start answering phones. I remember literally the phones ring 50 to 70 people calling.
Wow.
And so that was my exposure of this big, events that she did, and it averaged between 300 to sometimes 1,000 women per city.
Wow.
So that's how I got into event production. I had no idea that you could do that for a living. I knew I loved, putting community events on, but working with Maria has helped me to see the vision of being able to make, do it as for a living and be a professional at it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, did you automatically have a love and a passion for event planning?
Yeah, it goes all the way back to my childhood.
Okay.
I would put talent shows in my parents' living room.
Okay.
I didn't know that would be an event planner,
Right.
but
Right.
I would take my sister and brother, and I'll do readers theaters with them. I would even do like different acts, act 1, act 2. I would go in the kitchen and make little, I guess you say appetizers for my parents, and slice up some oranges and have peanut butter and crackers.
Did
and
you
stuff.
invite any neighborhood kids to watch your?
I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That
my
would have been their
parents.
audience.
Yeah,
Right.
that
Bigger
is
audience.
Yes.
But so your parents was mainly your audience.
Yeah, my parents,
That's
and
good.
and we
Yeah.
would perform for my parents. I'm talking about because my parents love to dance, so they dance and everything. So I had a passion for music and
Yeah.
dance at an early age, and I got a chance to go to a performing arts school.
Mm.
So I did that from 7th, 12th grade year. I went to O'Farrell SCPA where I majored in dance,
Okay.
ballet, jazz, and tap.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know that was over at O'Farrell. O'Farrell?
Yes,
Yeah.
O'Farrell was
Yes.
the school before they built. Was it
Yeah, the new one.
The
Yeah,
new one.
Yeah,
right?
huh?
Oh, yes.
I was last graduating class for O'Farrell SPA, and then my sister and my brother was able to go to the new school. My brother graduated in 1991, then my sister graduated 6 years later.
So when did they build the other school?
the new one.
Yeah, the new
Yeah,
one. And,
yeah,
and
it
that,
actually-
is that in Paradise Hills?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, we it actually they was building it while I was going to school. So I remember they had started like maybe 2 years prior to us graduating. So by the time we graduated, they opened a new school spring 19. We graduated in 90. So yeah, spring of 90. 90.
Okay.
Not spring. I mean fall. Fall of 90.
Okay, so just a few months later after
Yeah,
your
yeah,
graduating class.
mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, so what make you stand out from all the other event planners here in San Diego?
I don't call myself an event planner.
Well, you call
Like that.
yourself a
Event-
producer.
because I create my own signature events.
Okay.
Usually event planner means someone hires you to plan, like they say it could be a gala, it could be a conference or something. And I did that work, working for other people, did that, and then I started trying to get clients, and it was just so hard just to prove myself.
Right.
And one of the things that my mentor told me, she said, you need to start doing your own events.
Okay.
And so event producer, literally you make something up out of your own head.
You
Okay.
create it.
And you create it.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
responding to something that someone else
yes,
wants.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
And so I didn't know what I was going to do at the time when she told me that. But I got blessed to meet the Mooney twins when I was working as a social worker. A friend of mine suggested that I guess let's put it this way. They had an interview up in LA, and they were talking about they want to do these wealth seminar tours in different cities. And a friend of mine called in to this LA radio station and suggested my name. You need to call my friend Makena. She's a great event planner here in San Diego. She could help you out.
Okay.
And so that's how I got my first celebrity clientele.
Okay.
While I was actually working, as a social worker, and eventually that when I got laid off. It's so funny. I met them in the beginning of that year and got laid off, and so it was meant for me to.
I was going to say, God was just providing a way.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get laid off, you still would have been there, and you wouldn't have created your whole, entrepreneur thing with
Yeah.
your event production. So
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
way to kind of close that door so you
Yeah.
could actually focus on what you need to do.
Yeah.
Well, he basically he opened the doors. He puts you where he wants you to
Absolutely.
be, and then from there, the doors just start, opening up. So, I that's my thing. I always say that he puts you where he wants you to be, not where you want to be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
true.
That's very true.
Yes, it's very
very
true.
true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny because when I got laid off my job because of funding, because our grant had sunsetted.
Yeah.
Everybody else was crying. Oh my God, we're gonna do a job. I was like, well, I'm about to do my business.
That created an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I was ready. I was so
Right.
ready to just go all in.
Yeah.
And that same year, I was able to produce my first comedy show. That
Oh,
year.
that's fabulous. How many years, I'm just curious, how many years were you in the social working business?
4 years.
4, okay.
Mhm.
And then you're able to branch off. So obviously getting into the field is can be competitive. What were some of the barriers that you found yourself struggling with to really get your feet wet and in the door?
In the industry,
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I would say, I guess you say learning how to build a market,
Okay.
how to build a following where people want to see what you have all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know what branding was at the time when I first started doing my events. You
Mhm.
know, and so, but when I started getting on social media, because I got on social media back in 2008, that's
Okay.
when I started understanding that that a brand is like a personality.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you're creating this personality and this persona through your business, and that's what attracts people to
Mhm.
keep on wanting to see it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So when I really understood what was going with that, I learned to market the concept well.
Okay.
It wasn't about marketing me. It was about
Mhm.
marketing the concept I have for Conscious Comedy Explosion, which is to produce clean, classy, and soulless entertainment.
Okay.
And one of the things I know that Daryl Mooney told me, he's the son of Paul Mooney, he said, you want people to come to your show not because of the comedians that are on stage, because of the experience that they will have at the event.
Mm.
So he said, so
Okay.
no matter who was going to be on stage, they were going to come because Makena produced it.
Mm-hmm. And what
Right.
you produced was excellent.
Yes,
Right.
No matter
And-
who the draw
Yes,
was.
yes,
Right. Okay.
And you build your brand around
Mhm,
that. So,
mhm.
and they're coming because of that brand.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
How long do you think it took you to create the brand?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good question. Because I think when it really started happening for me is when I had Agent Jamal. That was in he was on Living Color.
Mhm.
He's known as a he called the king of clean comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been doing comedy shows for at the time for at least about 5 years.
Okay.
And he reached out to me on Facebook
Oh, nice.
and
How was
said,
it else?
and he
That's
said,
awesome.
said, I've been hearing about you in LA about the shows you're doing. He said, I want to do your show.
Oh, fabulous.
And I was like,
Mhm.
you want to do my show?
Mhm.
And I remember calling Daryl Mooney and saying, Agent Mal wanted to do my show. What should I do? He said,
Sign him
he said,
up.
yeah, he said, tell him you want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I waited 2 months to respond back to him because I was so afraid.
Oh.
And
my
that's when I
goodness.
realized that I had like got my name out there,
Mhm.
and people were talking about me in LA.
Mhm.
You know what I was doing, and comedians is like for them it's a really closed up world,
Absolutely.
and they
It's-
really help
it
each
really-
other.
A little click.
It's
Yeah,
they
yeah.
all
I
communicate.
mean,
Yeah.
and it is.
Yeah.
It's like a community, and it's
Yes.
hard to break into that type of
Mhm.
community, especially here in San Diego.
Mhm.
So that was awesome that you were able to do it in San Diego, and they were talking about you in
Yeah.
LA.
Be recognized up
Exactly,
there, which
yeah,
is
that's
awesome.
big.
Yeah.
So you're able to sign him and bring him down, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
kind of when
and
everything.
again, that's when it was like it was real for me that I had like almost like okay, you're cross over to people recognize your brand,
Mhm.
and that other comedians want to be here and they want to do your show too, and
Yeah.
we were able to get on. I brought him down the second time too, and we was able to get on San Diego Living too.
Okay.
Okay.
Regarding
That's awesome.
the show and what I was doing, because my purpose of the comedy show wasn't just about comedy only.
Mhm,
It was
mhm.
about teaching people that you could use comedy to heal and also to tell our stories,
Mhm.
and you don't have to like say all these derogatory things about each other, but
Right.
be able to make each other laugh and
Right.
have fun, and then have a very positive environment where people not only got to have fun, for our laughing, but we would socialize right
Right.
before the show. So it wasn't like a typical comedy. It's not a typical comedy show where people just sit there and go into a dark room
Mhm.
and all squished up in there. It's like we have centerpieces on the table. We have round tables. People were able to eat.
And they were
Yeah.
interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it created this
Mhm.
atmosphere.
And
yeah.
do you think at these comedy shows, did it also some of the comedy or the comedians deliver a message, like some learnings from their
Mhm.
experience?
That's what comedians do.
Yeah.
If you really listen to a comedian, they're a
Mhm.
storyteller.
They
Mhm.
storytelling.
And yes,
Yeah.
and they're telling their story. They just have found a way to make you laugh about it. Where
Mhm.
you like, oh Lord, I can't
Mhm.
believe you said that. But it's amazing. And I
Right.
watch how they'll talk about racism, sexism, talk about things that we didn't like.
Mhm.
And based on the history of just learning about comedians like Richard Pryor, and also Red Fox, it came a time where we weren't really accepted sometimes.
Absolutely.
And so there was a time when we were able to get together and talk about.
And they were actually they made an impact on the Black community.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yes.
So we that's good to know, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other artists and actors that you were involved with from the Hollywood experience. What we're going to do now is take a small break, and then we'll be back in just a few minutes. So obviously you're listening to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health, and we'll be back in just a minute.
I'm a breast cancer survivor.
We are honoring our heroes.
I'm here today because of Susan G. Coleman's free mammogram.
We are pledging to save lives.
We're passionate about bringing the services out to the community.
We are providing free mammograms. We are providing hope.
We are more than pink.
Made possible by Anderson Plumbing, Heat.
Welcome back to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program.
And of course, our special guest is Makena Gargonnu, author, special event producer, entrepreneur, marketing consultant, and of course the title, our topic today is This Little Light, the Hidden Diamond Among the Ashes. So before we went on break, we were talking a little bit about your comedy shows, and you were giving us some details on that, but I'm curious, what are some of the other actors and special people that you've worked with from Hollywood?
Celebrities.
Yeah, the celebrities.
All the celebrities. Huh?
Yeah. Give us a scoop on it. We want to know everybody. So
Everybody.
Everybody. So I know I can call on Makena. She knows such and such and such and such.
Yeah, I think the greatest experience I had was comedians I got to work with Dick Gregory.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I got a chance to do an event for him at my church in 2013.
Okay.
There were 3 months of planning. The Mooney Twins had found that he was doing this health and wellness tour, and they was like knew they were coming to San Diego, and they said, well, if you're gonna come to San Diego, we know the perfect PR lady for that.
Right.
And so it was an amazing experience because they brought me on the team. I was working with him and his sponsors, and what was really deep is that I had to be interviewed by Dick Gregory himself.
Oh, nice.
To make sure that he wanted me to be the event producer for the event.
He's very articulate.
Yes.
I actually met him. Actually been in his presence twice, and he's an awesome guy. So I can just imagine him wanting to interview you.
Yeah, he's a very serious man.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he left us last year. But he literally shifted my mindset about why I was doing comedy shows in the first place. When you talk to a legend, and I remember, walking into, we had this meeting with his business manager in this hotel off the Harbor Bay, and I remember walking to the hotel lobby. I'm looking, I said, oh my God, this is Dick Gregory. He's waiting for me, and my husband was with me. Thank God, because I was so nervous. And he said, I sat down, and he said, are you Makena? And I said, yes, I am. He said, pleased to meet you. He said, so you're going to be working on my event? I said, yes. He said, well, let me show you something. He took this book out, and it's a book about the top Americans in the United States. And he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, that I'm going to show you, that no matter what people think of you, it doesn't matter. And so he showed me, where he was, like, as far as top Americans in America. He said, look, I say what I want to say.
Right.
And he still put me in this book.
Right.
So he told me never change myself, never, put myself in a situation for me not to be who I truly am,
right,
to please anybody.
That's right.
He said, be yourself, and you always do well. And he started telling me about, he's willing to help. He started talking about the water conditions.
Right. And
yes.
Actually, he started out in comedy. And he basically was, because of the racism, he used comedy to say what he really wanted to say, to get his point across. And he didn't realize that comedy was
his vehicle
end.
is his end.
His end, because what he was saying, he didn't think that the white people would actually appreciate or welcome what he had to say. So when I say that he is just an awesome man, he really is. So I can understand where you got a lot from him. Who else? I told you I want to know.
I think about, I mentioned Agent Jamal, Mooney Twins. They are my heart.
Okay.
They're my comedy mentor, my entertainment mentors. They the one who literally escorted me into the comedy world and showed me the way.
Right.
Okay.
And I always feel grateful and thankful for everything they've done for me.
Absolutely.
I know that also too. I think about, of course, Kim Coles. I got a chance. I got a chance to do my first show with her in 2012.
Okay.
I was recommended by a friend, in LA that went to her.
Some good friends.
Yes.
Okay, get on to another. Go on to another celebrity. We're gonna get into Kim Coles in a little bit.
But she's like, before this book came out, she was like one of my biggest celebrities I brought to San Diego. I have to mention her.
For the comedy piece.
For the comedy piece.
Yeah, we will.
That was and then also another good one was, I'm trying to think, Ida Rodriguez. She won. She was a top 10 for the Last Comic Standing. It was on NBC. I had a chance to bring her twice. I see what else. I'm thinking who else was like big names you guys probably aware of. I'm thinking like Shane, Shane, from BET Comic View, all that. Lester Berry. He did my first gospel comedy show back in 2006, and I found out that he's family because he's related to my brother-in-law.
Wait a minute,
he family.
And did you bring him back again last year? Was that your event at Lincoln?
The event we did with last year, we did, Tamara Hill did a comedy special for him.
That's right.
And Tamara asked me to partner with her to help her with the PR and marketing for that event. Yeah, but I've been working with Lester for, oh my God, since 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but funny, when I first booked him, I didn't know he was related. It was to like within a year or so that he was actually related to the family.
That's good.
So I almost think that it was ordained by God for me to be in the comedy world, because I actually find that I have a couple of family members who are comedians too.
No, that's fabulous.
And one actually does comedy here in San Diego.
Right. And isn't he a pastor also?
Yes.
Well, the one who does it in San Diego, he's not.
No.
Lester Berry.
Lester Berry. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a pastor.
Because he spoke at our church, and then that evening or the next day he was at Lincoln with this comedy show. So the church actually came over, including Bishop, came over and supported it.
Yeah, he done like 2 shows at my church too over the years, and that's why Tamara wanted to do his comedy special, because it's not a lot of comedy specials that do clean comedy.
Absolutely.
So when the opportunity happened to be able to produce a show for Netflix, she brought me on board and said, let's do this, let's make this happen for Lester. So I was all in because I love Lester.
He's good.
And he was actually good too. He made us laugh, and and it was good, clean cut comedy. And he made a lot of points about life within itself. So I appreciated that. So we're going to dive into you being your debut as an author. So what is Open Your Gifts Volume 2?
Open Your Gifts Volume 2 is an anthology, of course, presented by Kim Coles. This is her second volume of this book. It's just a collection of stories. The first book was all women. The second book, she has 2 men in there, just for people to find a way to open their gifts. And I can't remember the acronym for each. She has a letter for each one for gifts.
Right.
You probably can find it and read it, but I know G is for gratitude.
Yours, intentions.
It's intentions. Like I want to be F for forgiveness.
Yes, and then
T for triumph.
And then S for self-love.
Self-love, yes.
Okay, that's good.
And so because of her experience of what she'd been through in Hollywood, and that she had to reinvent herself, she realized herself that she had a gift, that she didn't have to wait for Hollywood to book her again.
Or come knocking at her door
exactly,
again.
Exactly. And she used this book and also the book she did before to inspire other people to open their gifts.
Okay.
You know, so yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us, how did you meet Kim and become a part of this second book, the Volume 2, Open Your Gifts Volume 2?
Yeah, I met Kim through a friend that was at a birthday party up in LA, and Kim was having her 50th birthday celebration.
Oh, really?
And that's when she made an announcement that she was going to get back into comedy.
Okay.
And so I guess her manager was there, and it was like, oh, you need to check out Makena. She does comedy in San Diego. And so about a couple of months later, Kim's manager actually contacted me. I remember this to this day.
That is
where
awesome.
I was at.
Wow. Oh, you were on the phone. You were driving or something, right?
He was at part at Whole Foods.
Okay.
My husband's favorite place to shop. yeah. And I remember getting this call, didn't recognize the number, and and I said greeting, and she said, this is Kim Cole's manager. I heard about your comedy shows, and I want to know Kim's interested in doing it. Do you want to do this? And I said, can you hold 1 second? I said, I had to take a deep breath. I said, ooh. I said, told my husband, I said, Kim Cole's manager on the phone. I was like, and then so then I got my phone. I said yes, I would love to do that. And the funny thing about it, I was tested because I had less than 3.5 weeks of producing.
Wow. Yeah. That was a test, honey.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I had to do it. It's like you don't know when you're gonna get Kim Coles again.
Exactly.
And that was her window of opportunity. That's the only time she could come down and do it.
That was the time that she was. It was piggybacking off the event. She was already doing Oceanside, and she said she would be in the area, and she's interested in doing a show that following Sunday. Do you want to do it?
Okay.
And so I was like, I just did it.
Yeah.
Someone else probably would got scared and didn't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would have been like,
I need more time.
I need a little more time. But then again, when it's your opportunity, I work really good under pressure.
Yeah, and you have to just get some other people on your team to help you.
Yeah, like, hey, we're going to get this done.
Divide and conquer, right?
Yeah, because we're going to get Kim Cole.
And I think that because I had already been producing comedy shows and that was back in 2013, with 2012 when I first booked her. So I had been producing it since December 2005. So it's like I feel like God was training me and preparing me to handle high pressure.
Right.
Because one of the things that my mentor, Dr. Najara, told me, she said, I want you to do a show every single month. And so I pretty much did a show maybe 10, sometimes 10 to 12 shows a year for almost 5-6 years.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That is a lot.
But what it taught me is how to move fast.
Okay.
And how to put things on together and how to think on your feet.
Right.
But not only that, by then you would have created some kind of a template as to what you can do. So you can check off, get your act, the person that you're going to have down, and then kind of put things in place. So by then you had developed that that format that then you could just
already had it.
fill things in.
Yeah, just go.
It just takes time to do that infrastructure. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That is real good. So
her chapter.
So what inspired you to write This Little Light, the hidden diamond? The hidden diamond, hidden amongst the ashes. That's a really unique title. How did you come up with that, and then what inspired you to write your chapter?
Well, This Little Light, I'm break down the title. This Little Light comes from my mother.
Okay.
Because my mom, every time I have challenges, with school and just, feeling like trying to be accepted, because I was very shy young girl. I had like a little southern twang sometimes because my parents being from the South, and so people would make fun of me when I talk. And I was really, I was just a serious nerd, and so I didn't have like a lot of friends because I was considered popular, so I would go to these little challenges, and my mom would tell me, he said, you know, every time you go challenge, remember your song, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. She was always telling me that, and I live by that.
Okay.
I even tell people, I said, let your light shine.
Right.
Okay.
And once your light shine is brighter than anything, do not dim your light, because there were several times in my life where I felt like I had to dim my light either to belong, you know.
You ain't supposed to never let your dim your light so that others can shine on. No, your light's supposed to always stay shining.
Yes. So I had to learn at an early age. You know, like I said, kids could be mean sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you have to stand your ground even though it's not popular. You know, so, and then the hidden diamond among the ashes is because I always felt like I was this diamond that nobody knew about. You know, because I wasn't doing what everybody else is doing, I was considered as a shy girl who was just a nerd, and I had straight A's all the way up to like to my senior year, but I got 1 C, and that was from pre-calculus, my first C. And so some people didn't know that I loved to dance. They didn't know I was really good at dancing. Cause just like, so people just assume that because you're quiet, that, you know, it's the fast people, the people who are fast, the ones who know how to do everything.
What they do is people automatically see you and they prejudge you. And, you know, you cannot judge a book by its cover, you know. And I think that that's what a lot of people, they just do that. And then when they was like, wow, I didn't know she can do that. You know, so with your dancing, you know that they was probably saying, dang, I didn't even know that girl was that good. Wow.
That she even had 2 left feet or something.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, in my senior year of high school, I actually you heard the thing called lip sync? It's called lip sync contest, what's called Air Band.
I don't think I heard
The Air Band is it's still popular. They still have it, but basically do a lip sync contest. And so myself and my friend did Salt and Pepper my senior year. This is like my coming out year where I was going to do everything, you know.
Right.
And we ended up winning.
Oh, wow.
You know, for Salt and Pepper, and we got to go Morris High School, and you know it was like probably about 30 groups, and we didn't win that one, but we got to be in the challenge and compete. And then also I came out and did we had a senior recital, and I did 2 dances in that. One, me and my friends, we did a dance for Belle Biv DeVoe, you know, That Girl's Poison. Like,
you
people were shocked, like,
wait a minute, she got girl, you know you got to dance. When Poison came on, girl, you know you got to bring it.
Right.
and people were shocked, 'cause they're like,
She got those moves.
is that her? You know, they were shocked, you know. And I think my mom said my sister was cheering for me. That's my sister, you know, because she's like 6 years behind me. And then finally, when even though I had this, you know, gifting of, you know, dancing, I didn't see myself actually doing it for a living, because it came to a point where, okay, what are you going to do to make money? So I decided that I was going to go to school to be a computer engineer, because I was real good at math, because I took pre-calculus my senior year, and I was taking calculus at UCSD. And I mean, if you look at my path I had back then, what I'm doing right now, it's not believable to me. When people see me from my past, they're like, Makena, you're producing comedy shows? You're doing that.
So it's like the total opposite of what you would normally proceed to do, because you were so smart, you were so book smart.
She was a math nerd.
Yes. When I say I was nerd,
comedy?
I mean I would study all night. I got straight. I was serious about getting straight A's, but it's funny. I'm serious about that with my business. I'm very detail oriented.
Right.
I'm real serious. I already have this high standard how I want my thing to be. Like sometimes even my husband, like, man, we can't do. Really got to do all this.
Yeah, can you dial it down?
Yeah.
Well, that's her.
You and I are saying,
That's her. But I used to be that way. But after going through a life-threatening disease, I let it all go. I'll be like, whatever.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Well, whatever. Okay. It's gonna
take the stress off.
Yeah, we're gonna get over it. We're gonna get through it, you know. But I was like the exact same way. Everything had to be so perfect. And I realized, because I was sweat and stress on the smaller details. And I
Yes.
can't do that anymore. Can't afford
Stress will kill you.
Yeah.
So you have to be not as meticulous.
Yeah, yeah,
Stuff will
yeah.
still get done.
Yeah.
But that little minute detail,
Yes.
nobody sees that. It's just us. So we gotta let that part go.
Yeah.
You know, and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Right. And even to where being a neat freak, I mean, I was didn't even know that I was making people uncomfortable in my house.
No,
I
we
mean-
can't do that. We can't sit there.
Right.
If you move something over an inch, or she knows it.
Right.
She know you move that thing right on the river. I'm like, hey, don't touch
Well,
nothing.
I didn't really, notice that until my mom was like, well, when I come to visit, I'm going to get me a hotel.
Yeah. And she said, oh,
wow.
if
And I
it's
was
too
like-
stressful to stay at your house.
I said, why? I can't even drink a cup of water. My glass is gone by the time,
You know, picked it up and washed it and put it away, huh?
Yeah. And then you be watching me how I be looking up. I mean, how I be sitting on your furniture.
Well, at least you got it real from your mother, somebody who loves
So
you.
I'm just saying that I didn't realize I was that bad.
Yeah, it was too
It was
intense.
just too intense. But I'm just saying that it's okay to be that way, but sometimes you just have to say, hey, things are not going to go as planned. And
Well, you have to,
just
yes.
keep on paving forward and just make sure that whatever you have in control of, it, that aspect of it will be all right.
Yeah, you have to go, especially with event planning, you have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because what happens with events is always, because you're dealing with different personalities and different situations happen, there's always something that possibly may happen.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got to be able to just think on your feet and say, okay, let's let this go and let's do this differently. And I remember one test I had, I remember one of my comedians didn't show up on time to the show. He was an hour in traffic
On the
from
road,
LA,
yeah.
and we had this big space where we're like, what are we gonna do with this hour? And so I remember the MC came to me. He said, let's do this. Let's do an impromptu thing. He said, we just pull people out of the audience and do improv.
yeah.
And he did that, and he pulled out. He said, who wants to get up and do some improv? And people started raising hand. He did it, and they had us cracking us, falling out
Well,
our
they
seats.
had
Yeah.
fun. The audience enjoyed
Yes.
that, didn't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they did not know that
You were
was
stalling.
Yes.
They thought it was part of the program. They thought it was part of the program. We're going to do some little,
Yes, yes.
some-
And another story happened is recently. It's real funny because this is a show we did like back in 2000. I think 2016 when I did this show, and one of my comedians like was running a little late, like probably about 20 minutes late, and so my husband told me about this comedian he just met recently, while I was working out, and the guy just happened to show up, and I said, my husband said, that's the comedian I was talking about. I said, really? I
You
said,
gave him a platform?
yes, I did.
That's right.
there on
That's
the
what
spot.
you- like, hey,
I said,
come on
You want some exposure? There you go.
yeah, I told him, I said, we have a situation where, a comedian gonna be here in like 20 minutes. She said, do you want to get on stage? And he was like, I
What an
don't
opportunity.
know if I'm ready for this. He's like, I said, I literally had to coach him right on the spot, tell him what to do, how to feel comfortable
do
on
you.
stage.
Right.
He got on there and he did
He
it.
blew it away, huh?
And so I was like, okay, you get too good at this. Well, you get with this, take something and wrap
make it
around,
work.
make it work, and people don't even know that's what you did.
Yeah, you got to think on your feet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
And not because if you lose your cool, then everything you wouldn't be able to think clearly to make that little small change that saves your
Yeah.
event. So that's
It's
really
true.
important.
It's
That's
definitely
really
true. Yeah,
important.
because you're definitely right. Because they say that for event producers, it's like one of the highest stressful jobs out there. It's a top 10, and it's because you're managing, people.
Yeah, and that's
so-
like herding cats. So the problem is there's too many personalities, too many things that could go wrong. So you have to be ready for any one of those things to go wrong and still be able to pull it together and make it successful.
I have had people literally like, they'll tell me like, oh, Makena, I want to help. We have you help with event, and they'll say, oh, I don't have a budget. They bring you on, so I could be able to do it myself. But literally 2 weeks before the event, they'll call me crying because of the stress. Or because they're not doing well with the marketing, they're not able to fill the seats. They don't understand how to do the agenda. They didn't have this high cost of the event, and the ticket sales not doing well.
Yeah.
And so they'll come to me like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so and that's one of the reasons why. Anyway, we'll talk about later about some things I'm doing this year
Yeah.
to help
But-
entrepreneurs with that.
That's what I'm saying, that we're familiar with that, we're familiar. We're not planners, but we do our events, and there's a whole lot could go wrong. Like my first fashion show honoring the breast cancer survivors. None of the hair and makeup people showed up that signed up. We did it with what? Two people, and we made it work.
And you had several survivors that you had to do makeup and hair for. It was like how many?
For survivors?
Yeah.
All the survivors, it was like 20 of us.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
2 people had to work on them. So you had to make it work.
So you just had to make it work and make the best of it. But the good thing is that the survivors were able to bond with each other.
After they start helping each other.
Yeah, and then they started helping each other. And not only that, but at least I fed them. I had good food back there.
Absolutely.
For them. So it was like, it was like, wow, I can't believe that all these people signed up for this event. And
didn't show. And didn't call.
And didn't even call.
Yeah, didn't have the courtesy. So those
I've
things
learned
happen.
to overbook.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what you
Yes.
That was considered overkill on the hair and makeup. And you're like, wow.
And then none of them showed up.
Yeah. And so we made it work, and
it was a successful event.
it was a very successful event, given that it was like rocky, it was I was just sitting in the chair getting my makeup on, and they was saying none of them showed up, and I was just like, man, hey, if I'm gonna have to do some makeup, I'm just have to do some makeup.
Dude, you gotta
They can all put makeup on each other, as long as the lipstick stay in line or
but
something,
you know
right?
what they did was they put on their own foundation, and then the makeup artist
They could put the
came
touch-ups
in
on
and
there.
put the touch-up. I mean, when I say that it worked, it really worked. So we understand when the events, and that was an event that I single-handedly put together by myself.
Yeah.
From like everything except Sis's part, her piece,
the presentation, right?
Presentation. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. But also, I do understand when you depend on others a little too much, and then they don't,
they disappoint you.
They disappoint you, and then that's when you feel like you do become a control freak. When you feel like you are a superwoman and you have to do everything yourself.
What you have to do is like, kind of like what Maya Angelou says, like once people show you who they are,
believe them. Believe them.
Yeah. So what I've learned over the years, like once somebody do it a few times, then I know I can rely on them.
Absolutely.
So I have to find new people.
Absolutely.
Because it's my name out there.
Absolutely.
And so I have to have things done a certain way, especially when you work with celebrities. They don't play that stuff.
I don't know.
They they're used to just coming in, everything's set up, and so I know whether they do or not, I gotta get it done right. And so I get you when you say that a lot of times you do have to do a lot of stuff yourself. I remember when my husband was doing the comedy shows at Tubman Chavez. I remember we came in there one time. It was a quinceanera party right before. And it had decorations everywhere and stuff on the floor, and my husband had to go in there vacuuming the floor, doing something. He was, we was setting things up in the decoration, and we was like so stressed out. My husband was like, I'm tired of doing this, But it was stuff like that has happened to us over the years, and sometimes it came down to just me and him and the DJ.
Trying to get the room together and everything.
Yeah, and before the people about to walk in the door.
Right.
And it was times that I had my children with me. I remember when I produced my first comedy show, my middle child was 3 months old, and I was breastfeeding him in the back of the stage.
Wow.
You have to do what you have to do because your name is on the line. Your name is on the line.
So I get you when you have to say, like, you sometimes be the jack of all trades at the day of the event. Whatever's missing, the event producer is responsible to make sure it gets it done.
Absolutely.
You could be checking the door.
Yeah.
You could be, announcers by on stage.
Yeah.
Setting people up, wherever that is. You have to be flexible. Something I know my pastor said, you become the best leader when you're able to do the things that people do to help you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know that really well, sis.
Yeah. Get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? People respect
Roll up your
that.
sleeve and
Yeah.
You just rolling them up and you just.
Yes.
We just had that. I mean, it was just like it was a two women show for our
breast cancer awareness luncheon.
It was so beautiful in there.
Thank you.
It really was.
And it's like a two. You know, we
just have to pull it together.
sleep deprived.
Neither one of us had sleep, and the problem is that we had like a team of people to come help us set up the room, and it was like you and I and one other young lady from church.
Yeah.
So we were there all night the night before, and then we still had things to do. So we say all that to say that I respect the fact
We do.
that as an event, producer, how much work it takes and how much stress it is. That's why I'm not in that business. I'll leave that up to you. We do some little things, at our churches and stuff like that, and our fashion show. And we can't be out there like booking people because it's too stressful trying to get the artists and the singers and the vocalists and people.
And then not only that, but just dealing with the people. That are RSVP.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
Affirming everybody.
Yes.
And then you have a food count.
Up to and then 30 people show up the same day. It's like, okay, so how am I going to make it work when I say 100 or 120 and now an extra 30 show up? It's like, how do you make that food work? Because you don't want the people to be angry and
Small plates.
and they plate and start dishing out, right? So, as much as we beg for 2 weeks, please RSVP. It's important that you RSVP, because we don't have anything attached to money where they put some money in it. If they pay for it, we don't care if they don't show up.
Exactly.
But when it's free, they wait till the last minute or don't,
especially when you start working with hotels, you got to put your order in
absolutely.
a week before.
Absolutely.
So you got to get as close as you can to the estimated amount of people, and you don't want to waste money.
No,
that can
you
get very expensive.
It's very, very. People don't even get it because I know for the fashion show event, we had over 220 people that RSVP and only like 130 showed up.
And even though that's successful, we paid for food.
It was the food
for the number that RSVP.
We
were sending food home with folk.
We show up, and that was a lot of food. So I'm just saying that. So we are learning that people disrespect free. So we're gonna
say
have
that
to
again.
Disrespect free. And so
they're gonna have to put some skin in the game.
Exactly.
But even if we asked for a donation of $10, that $100 people that signed up, that would have been $1,000 I paid for the event that day. So at least if they don't show up, that's okay because they put into it, and we could have covered all of the expenses for the people that performed and for the food.
It's funny when you say that because when I first started doing the comedy shows, I was charging like $7 for seniors and military, 10 advance, 12 at the door, and some people didn't even think it was a quality show
because of the
price.
Even
though I was bringing top of the line,
you're trying to do them a favor by making it affordable, and they look down on it. So now you got to charge them $50, and then they complaining because it's too expensive.
Right, but you know
your people.
That's your people.
So I remember somebody coming to me saying, "Why are you charging $10? That's a lot of money."
Oh my God!
And then the other ones don't think your show is not calendar because you're only charging.
They think you're making the money. They don't know you're paying for all this
everything.
stuff.
They don't realize
close to a profit.
I'm just saying. We respect you.
Absolutely.
We respect all the hard work that you put into.
Thank you. I appreciate both of you guys.
And that's why we try to support you when we can, when it doesn't conflict with our schedule, because we understand the work that you put in it. You know?
So speaking, when's your next? So we are both co-authors together.
Co-author sisters.
So tell them to buy the book.
So when do you plan on having our book signing with us? In the future, what date?
When?
You know, The audience, don't you want to know?
Yeah. We actually really got to talk to Kim, recently because she's been traveling like crazy.
God, she's been traveling.
Africa.
Yeah. She went to Egypt. And she wanted to tell about her crocodile story. I just love her. She's just crazy.
She
just
was on the road for 6 weeks straight.
She's been gone. She went to Egypt. She flew in from Egypt to Baltimore, from Baltimore to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Dallas, to Houston, and I was just like, child.
When you gonna sit still?
And automobiles.
And
that is her life.
I was like, and when you see her, she on Facebook Live in the airport. Hi, you guys. I'm in the airport on my way headed. just still. I just love her. Bubbly personality. I'm like, I can't do that. I know that I'm just
you don't have the energy for that.
I do not have the energy for it, but just love it. I'm like, okay, Kim, you done been everywhere. When you come to San Diego, okay, we want to get our book. We want to get our book on and popping, okay?
And she wants to come. She wants to come out here.
So we don't have a date set yet, but now you're in conversation with her to try to solidify a time when she can come down.
Yeah. So what she basically shared with me is that she do need some time out. Her business director told her she needs to settle in and get some stuff together so she's able to just be still. She has a challenge going on, which I'm sure a lot of us are part of it, called Choose You Challenge. So she's working on that, and she's going to celebrate the holidays, with her husband and everything. So she's looking at in the beginning of next year, early year. And so I'll be able to talk to you and other co-authors what the dates she presented to me. So that way we could say, okay, this worked for our team. But she is coming to San Diego in the early part of 2019.
I thought it would be December.
That's probably a hard time because everyone has their.
No, she basically.
No, but I mean for people, the holidays, the parties,
but we brought it in.
We did December last year.
Yeah, December last year. So that was a good turnout. So I was just thinking that it would be in December, but I do understand because I'm gonna say that she has been traveling, and she does need a break. And for her to come back home and still doing the challenge and making sure going on people, hello you guys, I'm doing the challenge, make sure you sign up.
She's busy.
She is. And I've actually personally told her, I said I want her to be still for a moment,
absolutely.
Because this being entertainment is such a
stressful life. Stressful life.
It's
not a job, it's your life.
It's very demanding. It's very demanding. And just working with her closely, it had me have a great appreciation for entertainers and what they do and go through to perform. You think about some of them get straight off the plane.
I don't even see how she
that night.
And she went from Egypt and then she was doing a play.
Yeah, you're right. You've been keeping up.
Following her. She's traveling vicariously.
So she did the play and then she did the book launch.
And she had to memorize her lines that week.
Wow.
Yes, I was just like
that week she had to do. I was like, Kim, come on now, girl, you got talent. She's like,
talent.
Okay,
you got a lot of talent. So we probably didn't get as much as we wanted accomplished, but we can always have you come back because we want to dive in. But of course, we want people to buy the book to read your chapter as also our sis chapter.
Definitely support the book because one of the things I love about Kim is all about bringing people up. And what I really was grateful for because when she invited me to be part of the book, it was like the summer of last year, just from working with her book celebrations, and she said, McKenna, I really want you to be a part of this. And I was like, me be out there? She said, yes. And then when we did the event in October, she asked me for my permission to invite people at the event. She said, are you okay with other authors being part of it in San Diego besides just you? And I said, why not? Why not share the wealth, And so it's like I think it's very important for all of us to lift each other up. I've learned that with working with Kim is she's not the typical entertainer.
Nope.
She is like really about teaching people how to leverage yourself, how to reinvent yourself.
And she basically wants you to succeed.
Yes.
And that's what I love about her. She invited the women to whatever they have as far as their business to sell it with encourage other people to say, no, don't do this and don't. She welcomes all of
Yes.
us.
That's very good.
And to me, she's just like she's trying to level up everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
what we
that's
need
the
to do.
beauty of it. And,
Right.
and that's what we
Yes.
all have to do is
Yes.
just level up and push people.
Support each other.
Support each other. And I didn't even get to do my vent.
I know. Well, we'll save that for next week.
Okay, yeah, because it's a good, because I have a vent. I have Wendy's weekly vent.
Okay.
We can save it. You can have 2 next week.
Okay.
So let's just briefly, since we're running out of time, let's
Yes.
just briefly make a quick announcement that our community outreach event, which is every month, we're usually on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. It's the community outreach event. We're switching it up and deciding to do one Saturday. So we're going to do Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, November 10th. It's going to be here at the Big Lots on 1655 Euclid Avenue at the Big Lots parking lot, Federal and Euclid. And we'll have all our vendors there related to health and services for the community. It's free to everyone, so please come out. We should have flu vaccines. This is flu vaccine season, so please come out and get your flu vaccine so you're not sick and missing work and infecting your whole family. And so we'll have all kinds of services there. Come out and sign up for your mammograms because we will have the mobile coach out on December 5th, which is our final event for this year.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the first Wednesday. So know that it's this Saturday, November 10th, and then our final one will be December 5th, which is the first Wednesday of the month, and we'll give you more information on that.
Okay, yeah, just make sure you guys come out and take advantage of the free monthly event. You've been listening to the Many Shades of Pink and Black Health radio program. I'm your host, Wendy Sherrill, breast cancer survivor and advocate.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Susanna Flalo, retired family physician. Our special guest today was Makena Gargonnu. Thank you so much for spending time coming out and just really sharing with the audience your life, your experiences, your legacy, all the things that you're doing out there as a promoter, event promoter, and producer, and then also being a co-author. So we hope to have you back soon.
And thank you, audience, for listening. Be sure to tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. on kbokradio.com. Visit and like our Facebook page and subscribe. We need subscribers to our YouTube channel, Many Shades of Pink and Black Health. For more information on breast cancer, visit the Coleman San Diego Circle of Promise website at www.colemansandiego.org.
And learn about A Healthier Me, a lifestyle change program at www.ahealthiermesd.com.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everybody.